So Virginia, as you can see, this is a room that gets very good light. It gets southern and western light. This used to be my daughter's bedroom and I had my eyes on it and I finally moved everything out. And this is now a room for me. This is the first time as a painter I have ever had a dedicated studio space. And I'm really enjoying it and reveling in it. So let me show you some of the things in my studio. Now you can turn around to that. As you see, these are various bulletin boards that I have images on, which I have collected from magazines and newspapers. And these are what I call my inspiration boards. Many of them reflect ideas I got from my travels. I have traveled to Japan several times and loved their aesthetic. And of course, going back to my own background in India. So you will see reflected here the various things that truly interest me. As you move forward a little, you'll see 3 pictures on this wall. These are pictures that are given to me by my son and my 2 grandsons. This is their artwork. And I feel that they have inherited some of my love for painting and perhaps some of my skill at it as well. So as we pan across the room, you will see a wall that has not paintings but photographs. And these are photographs, some of them very old, from my grandparents' time when they were young. These are not inspiration boards in the sense that they present an image to me, but they present my history, my family history, what I felt like when I grew up. And in that sense, they are very much an inspiration to me. My grandmother and my father were also talented sketchers and painters. These 3 pictures here I have put up because they represent some of the earliest things I did. As a teenager, I was completely enthralled by the Beatles. And the top picture is of the Beatles. It was on paper and it has flaked off considerably, but I love this. And going down, it's the British scene during the time of the Beatles. And going down further is something I did on a piece of X-ray paper which my surgeon uncle had at home. And this represents my fascination with Art Deco. I think this is a very deco-ish one. I'm glad I found it in my home in India and I brought it back to entertain me here. On my table is a painting I'm working on right now, and I'm having some trouble with it because I feel that the blues in it are not exactly what I would like. So this is what happens to many artists. They start something, they think something will work, and then they're not sure that it does work. I think I will be reworking this painting somewhat. And it has an image of a lotus, which is one of my obsessions. And I have many paintings of lotus in my repertoire. As we go a little across the room, you will see certain things that I have been doing in a more experimental manner. Here is a painting which is quite unlike most of my work because it has a lot of empty space in it, in a way. But it also represents the detail and the choice of colors that you see in my other paintings. This is a departure for me and I'm doing something different here. I've always worked on board and that painting is on board. But just recently I've been experimenting with other things like little bits of canvas, paper. I made a couple of collages out of nothing at all, just scraps of colored paper. So I think now I hope to be more experimental in my choice of material. I mostly paint in oil, but now I even paint oil on paper. And I will show you the paper I work on. It is a very heavy Italian paper, and painting on this is kind of achieving a watercolor look with oil paints. So, experiments which I would have been a little hesitant to do earlier in my career, but as I mature as an artist and as a human being, I feel I can do many more things with many different materials and styles than I did before. So I don't know how this has come out, but we can always work on it if it isn't too good.